Ready when y'all are.
What is up? Welcome to Horn Dogs Podcast. I'm Jonathan Cerda Rowell.
I'm Steve Big Hearn. Get him again, Hernandez.
And today we have our inaugural. That's first, right? That's what inaugural means?
Yes.
Our inaugural guest.
Yes.
Hometown hero.
Yes.
Someone from Nela, North East L.A. We're not getting no Midwestern, East Coast piece of shit. No, this is a hometown boy. Please welcome to the podcast, Vince Caldera.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm
Vinny.
super pumped to be
You
here.
got to give him his credit.
I'm about to.
Well, you actually should do that first, and then come on. You never hosted?
You know what? I'm not a host. I'm usually the star. Yeah. I usually come in and I do my set, and that's what I'm good at.
All right, do the whole thing over again right now.
This guy has opened for Maria Bamford.
Yes.
He's opened for Ralph Barbosa.
Yes.
He's a writer on This Fool on Hulu. He has worked with me, his biggest credit so far.
That's my
and
favorite
he
one.
was a prisoner of the Smith Pinkett dynasty.
We'll get into that later.
And he also has his own podcast, Sleepover Podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Sleepover podcast.
Please welcome Vince Caldera.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Thank you guys for having me here. This is super fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You should be excited. See, I thought a good credit was actually being from Northeast L.A.
Dude, honestly,
That's why I gave it to you first.
I love that so much because like when people find out I'm from Northeast LA, it's just like I get like dapped up by so many Pendletons and stuff like that. You know, all these flannel come up to me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How gay does Jonathan act in the writer's room of This Fool?
Honestly, not at all.
Has he ever ran out?
No, I mean,
Have I ever ran out?
Yeah, because out of emotion, you know?
Meaning ran out of gayness or ran out of the room?
No, ran out of the room because you felt disrespected or like you guys were getting into
This
it.
is your definition of acting gay, being like, I feel disrespected right now.
You have to admit, Jonathan, you
What?
get into fights with some of your best friends. You get into real fights with them and you like stop speaking to them.
But that's not gayness. That's me having a betrayal complex.
I know, but I would say that is so intertwined with your gayness that if you were straight, I don't think you would feel that way.
Here's the thing. In the writer's room, I'm actually, besides all of the inappropriate sexual stuff I bring up, I'm actually very professional. Would you not say that?
no, 1,000%. Yeah. I'm like, how was your day? And you're like, I went to the market and I went to this. And that's like about, you keep it like right at what it is.
Yeah, and then I wait for the pitches, and then I'll pitch something highly inappropriate.
Yeah. And those are my favorite pitches.
Are you quiet now this season? You're not quiet?
I've never been
I know you're
quiet.
quiet, right, Vince?
No.
I mean, I feel like it just depends on like how it's going, right? Like it's if it calls for it, I'm like, all right, I'll say this dumb shit or whatever. But for the most part, I try to be like,
Who runs the table? Who runs the room?
The room is run by Jake Weissman and Pat Ingebretson, and then also Pat Bishop is an EP, and then Chris. But they are Jake and Matt are the showrunners.
And so they'll say like, all right, let's get started.
Yeah.
One of them will say that. Okay.
I've never been quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I think from the first season, I was a little too confident because Jake, who's very nice, once told me, he was like, "You're very confident," and I was like, "Oh, that's code for wow. We didn't expect you to be pitching so much, you know." But you know, my first pitch in season 1, I know was bad because Matt, who is also very nice, this is how you can tell he doesn't like the pitch. He goes, "That's cute." And then he just moves on. That means no.
Now, if you guys don't know, Vince is kind of like a golden boy on the East Side comedy scene.
Yep.
Started running open mics. How old are you? 18, 19?
dude, like about 17, 18. I started hosting
damn.
mics. Yeah.
How long have you been doing stand-up now?
I started in 2012, so I've been doing it for a while.
11 years.
About 11 years. Yeah. But like all that early stuff was like I had to ask my parents like, can you take me to this open mic or can you take me to the show? And it really just depended on whether they had enough gas money to take me, right? Or if they were like had enough energy to even go out there and do it.
So they would say no just because you didn't have money? Were you embarrassed then?
I mean, like sometimes, it's either that or like I had to like find a way to get there, like take the bus, like the 2 bus and the 603 are my favorite buses in LA because they take me to like Echo Park and Hollywood, you know?
Yeah.
But once I got to college, I ended up able to go up a little bit more. I turned 21. I was able to hit more bars.
Yeah.
So it really just
Were you getting
pivoted
kicked
everything.
out before 21 sometimes?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Because we both started as teenagers.
Yeah.
not at the same time, but we're pretty close in age.
Yeah, I
We're not
remember.
that far.
Yeah, we're pretty close in age. I remember running into you at Dave's Chillin' and Grillin' a lot. Yeah,
Yes.
because
Dave's
Eagle
Chillin'
Rock.
Grill in Eagle Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sandwich spot. Yeah, and you would always be hanging out with a gaggle of teen boys.
Yeah.
The troublemakers.
A bunch of teen boys excited to share
Yeah.
the stupid stuff they came up with, like in class and all that.
And you're all still in it.
Yeah, we're all still in it. I feel like we can blame each other for pursuing stand-up for so long.
Daniel went away for a little while. Daniel went to do something. What did he go do?
To go lift and get bigger.
No. Because for a while it was just Vince and Luis for a little while.
Yeah.
And he kind of went away. And who that little Jewish guy? What was that guy's name?
Ari Kaplan.
Yeah.
He's in New York.
And who's the little black guy? The half black guy.
Dylan Farr.
Yeah. I remember this little crew. And they've ran various open mics in there, and I remember I was like, oh, I like these little guys. But where did Daniel go? He went somewhere.
I think he went and did like his own stuff for a little bit because I think we were like he was mad at me for a little bit.
What was he mad about you for?
Well, because I jokingly told him that Kanye West was performing at the Eagle Rock Center for the Arts, and he pulled up and Kanye wasn't there.
Did he really believe you?
Yeah, but like I guess like it was in that era where like people would do a lot of pop-up shows at weird places. And so he pulled up, obviously it wasn't there, and then legitimately like I was like, "Oh, I'm just kidding." And then he just walked right past me, got into his car. We didn't speak for like a year or two.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Are you really thinking that's what it was?
I do think it. I mean, he'll probably say the same thing. But
Guys,
yeah,
Daniel Cabral is a very handsome, charismatic comic who maybe has a different fantasy of life going on in his mind a little bit. If he thinks that Kanye West is going to show up to Eagle Rock or knows what Eagle Rock is.
You didn't think Vince would lie to you, though.
Yeah, that's also true. It was in a sense kind of a betrayal, but like it was the kind of like stupid teenager thing where you're like, I'm gonna tell him this. What's funny is like years later, I think like maybe 2018, Kanye West and Kid Cudi performed at a club called Los Candiles down the street from my house to practice the Kids See Ghosts album.
in Glassell Park on Cypress, right? Yeah.
They shut it down, and it was just like in front of 20 people. So
that is true. That is kind of way out of the way.
Yeah. So in a way, it kind of happened just years later.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. You haven't been doing as many open mics, right?
I haven't. No.
So Jonathan's been hitting the mics pretty hard.
Yeah, but he's opening for people.
I'm talking.
Don't shut me up like I'm a woman.
I'm talking.
I'm not
a woman.
I am not a woman.
So you can't shut me up.
Well, Steve,
I'm a man.
Steve loves to bulldoze people and tell them to shut up and open their mouth and suck him down.
Shut up. Suck me down right now. I
Yeah.
was just thinking. I forgot. We recorded an episode, but I was really thinking when you guys talked. I was like, man. Oh, that's why we were. Jonathan asked how deep Vince's butthole was, and Vince said, I don't know. I guess we got to figure it out. And I was like, and I started thinking. I was like, man, I really do need to get fucked. It's been so long. I can't remember the last time.
You're probably not gonna be able to handle whatever. It's been so long.
Yeah.
You're gonna need like a small dick.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really do.
Okay, Vince, let me ask you this.
Love
though.
it.
He's been hitting the mics though. I really woke up. This is real. I woke up today, and sometimes like my brain's telling me something, and my brain was telling me because I haven't been micing because we're gonna have the baby.
Yeah.
I'm getting my hour ready. Thank you.
And you know what they're naming it? Vince.
No,
It's a girl.
For a girl.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
You're lying.
For a girl.
Yeah.
No, and this is here. We're here.
That's
to tell you.
amazing. Wow.
It's because they want her to get published if she ever wants to be a writer.
Yeah. This is this. I don't know if you're kidding or
and
not.
No, and she's actually we're gonna give birth at the Eagle Rocks Art Center.
Oh,
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Kanye's
What?
art doula.
yeah, art doula.
Kanye's art doula. But dude, I really woke up today, and it was the thought was. These kids are nipping at your heels. Like, so all these open micers, they're getting better because they're working harder.
Yeah.
They're gonna chase us down, Vince.
Yeah.
They're gonna overtake us.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so much crazier now because like a lot of people that are in the open mic scene, I think, can get along faster because of social media and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of a person right now who has 120,000 followers on Instagram, 150,000 that maybe.
Yeah.
And he's like a good guy and he's funny enough. And that's great. Like nobody really cares about stand-up comedy except for other comedians.
It is true, yeah. I feel like there might be some moments where I'm like, is this person like entirely ready for like all the things that would probably follow from having such a large following?
Right.
But I think it's just something that they'll end up figuring out. But yeah, I think it's cool that they can get those numbers.
But they're going to chase you down.
Yeah.
You're going down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down.
No,
yeah.
but he can still ascend. He needs
I think he's plateaued.
I don't think so. We'll see. We're still waiting on a season 3.
Yeah. Here's the thing that like I think it's like just figuring out like what you want from all that stuff though.
Yes.
You know, because like you get a bunch of shows and then what else?
So you want to be a TV writer. And
No, what do you want?
No, I'm telling him what he wants.
Oh,
he wants to be a
Jesus
TV
Christ.
writer.
Yeah.
And he wants to do stand up like on the breaks of the TV seasons.
I think that's along the lines of that.
See?
I would like to work on a television show. I do like honestly, I love the show that we've worked on. I want to write like a cartoon and I want to write sketch. Those are the things that I care about the most and that I like the most. But a lot of people tell me that those are not the things to pursue. But I don't get that because like that's what I want to fucking do.
I don't agree. I mean, I don't really know about sketch, but in terms of the animated world, like there's a big boom in comedy animated television shows right now. So I think they're wrong. I think you should write. Yeah. If you haven't already, you should be writing like a comedy animated pilot.
Yeah.
You know?
And like that's the thing is like I see so many examples of that on television and it's like why is this not the thing that I should be like pitching and stuff? But like in addition to that, like I like sketch stuff, but there's not a lot of sketch shows.
Right.
You know?
That's why I was kind of like I don't know as much about sketch. No, you want to know why I think people are telling you that?
Why?
Because nowadays, in order to be successful at comedy in the TV or film realm, your comedy needs to be about full-blown rape. And it needs to be about murder and AIDS.
Yeah.
And it needs to be about like genocide and those things. Because if it's about those things, then that's what's going to bring like the critical acclaim and the awards and all that shit. If it's not funny and if it's tragic and it like makes you feel bad.
He's got tragic stuff though.
Yes, but he wants to be funny. But what they want is they want to see him get fully raped on TV so that they can be like, this is art.
And Jonathan's the guy to do it. The cast him for the TV
as
show.
the rapist.
Yes, yeah.
Because you would never suspect.
Yeah. You make evil faces all the time. Oh, in fact, we started listening to the podcast about Andrew Cunanan, the famous gay spree murderer.
Oh God, what are you gonna say? You look
just like him.
Everyone's always told me I look like Andrew Cunanan.
And I'm not kidding. When we were listening to the podcast, I was like, this guy sounds like Jonathan. He's like the youngest out of it, and like the favored child.
Yeah,
and he was like a liar about all these things. And
I'm not a liar about all the people I murder.
But yeah,
I own up to everyone.
I could see you accidentally going to a gay club, and then like Jonathan's like, "Oh, watch out for these guys," and then he just grabs you.
Yeah,
and he goes,
I'm watching out for other people, but it's him I should be watching out for.
Yeah.
This is the pilot that's gonna send you into stardom. This is the new Bear.
I'll make a one sheet.
It's the bear, but it's a different
rape.
kind of bear.
Yeah,
it's a bear, but rape.
Yeah, it's gay on straight male rape, and people are gonna be like, "We've never seen this before." It's not funny, but it's like, but it's hilarious.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
It's weird because like I feel like you're very right in that people kind of want you to monetize your trauma in a way because they're like, oh, look at all this stuff. You don't know how many people are going to relate to this or whatever.
Right.
And it's weird because like sometimes I feel like there are a lot of like traumas that I've been through that I feel like I'm just not ready to talk about. And like, why would I want to make an entire show about this thing, you know?
Right.
And
because you're not a psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath. I'll be honest in this fact, like I've had like parents that like have gone through awful addictions and they've been incarcerated and all these other like awful things, but it's like, do I really want to tell like some white executive like I have this perfect idea for a show?
I have the answer to that.
You know?
Yes.
But it's like, but it's also like, yeah, I get that. Like
the whiter the better.
The whiter the better.
Yeah, you pour on the gasoline.
If fucking see-through white people.
If you walk in,
say mi papa. Oh
yeah.
I've noticed in a lot of Spanglish shows, they say a lot of porque and what's the other one? What's butt? Pero, they'll do that. Pero and porque.
And it's
so
also...
you got to start talking like that to the executives. Yeah, I'm sad. Porque my dad was in jail.
Which
they love that shit.
I'm very glad to say this fool we never pulled that shit because that shit is very inauthentic.
Yes, I know.
It doesn't pepper in like that.
No,
you know?
speak Spanish to your grandma,
right?
And then you speak English to that kind of thing.
Or more realistically, if you're speaking Spanish, you'll say a full sentence in Spanish, and then if it gets too complicated, you say the rest entirely in English. You're not like, hold the micrófono closer to your cara. Like, you're not like saying shit like that. That's insane.
Pero, I'm just kidding.
I do have like a meter of how much Spanish I have, and like I won't try to like say it in English, but I'll try to like pantomime the thing. Like I'll try to like draw it out and show my grandma like this is what I mean. You know?
Yeah.
But I never like try to do the Spanglish thing to her.
Thank God both my grandmas are dead, and they both spoke English. Because if they just spoke Spanish, wouldn't even talk to them. That's the real thing. I wouldn't even talk to them. I hate that dirty language.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It is the colonizer's language. So,
They do. They were both dead. They were both mean. Mean in their own way. My mom's mom did not like me because I reminded her of my dad. Yeah. So there was one time she was in the hospital. I went to visit her with one of my white girlfriends, and my grandma like told the white girlfriend, "Come here," and she said, "Stay away from him. He's trouble." And she was for real. I went to visit her in the fucking hospital.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Funny thing is, she was kind of right.
Yeah.
I'm trouble, ladies.
You're deplorable.
I'm a bad boy.
The back of your jersey says trouble.
No, that's my middle name, boy.
What's your grandma like?
I have both grandmas, so like they're all kind of different.
Everyone always says I've always felt one was mean, one is nice.
Yeah, one's kind of mean. Yeah, they're like good and evil, basically,
Yeah.
like those little angels that are on your shoulder type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my grandmas is like super paranoid. She watches like the Spanish news all the time, and the other one just loves religion. So she'll watch like people on the TV talk about God and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
TBS.
Yeah, TBS.
Is it English? She watches that in English or Spanish?
She'll watch it in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the Spanish ones.
Yeah, it just looks like a live stream of church.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like a live stream of church, and
Of
you'll
those
see
ones
people
like just the
walking by.
storefront one. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah.
Or they'll listen to it on the radio. That's like the kind of vibe that she is. But yeah, they both like, I don't know. They're just very overprotective, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine think about how much life they've seen, how much they've seen things change.
Dude, to that, like my grandmas will like, well, I'll try to learn about them, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about them, and I'm trying to like understand before like they're gone. But then it just ends up like me being like, oh, hey, what was it like when you were a kid? And then they share too much of stuff because I feel like they've never really had the chance to like share all these traumas. And I'm like, oh fuck, man, I'm sorry. Like no, like for real, like
I know. I mean, my mom's told me things before, and I'm like, oof, man, like, or like, yeah, the stuff where I'm like, yeah, and I feel bad, obviously, especially like women, like, they've been like. Sexual assaults just become a thing in the past like 10 years, but I'm sure they've had husbands or boyfriends. They've just been getting assaulted their whole life, and so how disconnected has that made them from so many things?
And this is what your show needs to be about. It needs to be about
an animated show about your grandma's sexual assault.
Exactly.
Both of them. Yeah.
And you will be swimming in Emmys. And it'll be Emmys for best comedy.
Yeah.
People will go, I didn't realize that was a comedy.
Yeah.
I thought the assault was
a lot
bad.
of assaults. Yeah.
There was a levity to the assault.
Right. Yeah. There was like a cute, like the nurse during the rape kit exam. She does like a funny sassy joke, and everyone's like, this is a comedy. This is an amazing comedy.
Give him the globe.
And it'll be on Apple TV.
Yeah. Apple TV. You gotta love it. Hey, we'll be right back. And we're back with Horn Dogs. We're back here with Vince Caldera, who's had so much tragedy in life, which makes it sadder that he's a Disney adult now.
You're a Disney guy?
I am a Disney guy, but like I don't have like nostalgia for it. Like I don't have like good Disney memories.
Why do you say that? Like that makes it worse.
Well,
because as an adult, you made a choice.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm trying to reclaim the Disney memories to be positive.
I always had the view of you as like a cool nerd, like you're a cool guy.
Yeah.
But now that's slowly
No, now you're just
fading
a
away.
loser.
Yes. Wait,
Who
what?
subscribes annually?
Why are you so brainwashed by the mouse?
I just think I like being at the theme park. Like it gives me something to do and look forward to. Like if I have like a week where I'm like not a lot has happened, I'll go to the theme park, just kind of check it out, get on some rides, and sometimes I just don't do anything there. I just walk around the park.
Do you see it gets worse the more he talks?
Yeah. But like
you
sometimes
high?
I don't do anything. I just look around the park. You hear how sad that is?
I like like the history of it and things like that. You know, like so
Yeah.
many people come from like across the country to go check it out, and I'm like, all right, I'm
the
here.
only way I could relate to this,
Yeah.
and then I've got some Disney stuff to say, is I guess that's maybe when I was a child. That's why I chose to be attracted to white women. It's because it made me feel clean and safe. Maybe that's how Disneyland makes you feel.
Disneyland does make me feel safe though. It has like some level of safety that I've never felt in my life. So I think
Are you
that's probably
implying
why.
that brown women are unclean?
Well, my brown mom didn't leave my dad, so can't trust her, right? She should have.
Oh, we've stepped into something that we should not have,
She
everyone.
should. Although to be fair, my mom is very pale, so I don't think I thought of her as a white woman like that. Or
Because she's not a white woman. But yeah, this got into something dark.
Let me tell you something about Disney.
Yeah.
You want to talk about bad Disneyland memories? I got a couple, but one childhood one. And I mean, did you go to Disneyland when you were a kid?
Not as well, like probably like when my dad
Once
gets
or
out
twice?
of prison.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah.
I'd probably go.
How long? What was the longest time he was in prison for?
Probably like 6 to 7 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a long ass time. Are you allowed to, why did he go to prison? Can you talk about that or no?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff's over. So he's gone in prison for like drugs and stuff like that. He's been framed for murder.
Framed.
He's been framed for murder. Yeah.
But he's obviously got whatever.
He has an
cleared
alibi.
his name.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So there's a big article about it, like in the 90s, like 95, 96. But
Your dad wasn't the guy on Curb Your Enthusiasm, was he?
Yeah, my dad is Juan Catalan. Yeah.
With the Dodger game.
The Dodger game. Yeah.
So this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, 1990s height of Latino gang violence in LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So height of that.
Oh, and your dad's like my age, right?
Is your because I have some family members who are part of the Avenues. Like, what was your dad part of?
Like adjacent to that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, my
Okay.
dad always says like I was never in a gang. Like he says that.
Okay,
but he's
yeah.
Yeah. But like what happened was like my dad was framed for the murder of like a 3-year-old little girl.
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
So what had happened was that there was this dead end shooting in like my neighborhood where this family had pulled up to this place and then they had unloaded a bunch of gunshots on this car, and then that girl was one of the casualties. Right. This family got there like around 3 a.m. Right. They made a wrong turn, and then they like did all that. But the police department wanted to have my dad get the heat for it, so they blamed him, even though it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
But the alibi that he had was that he was in Watsonville, California, buying baby diapers for me, and he was on that camera footage, and they had the receipt, and that's what got him off of it because he had an alibi.
Whoa.
But he didn't actually go to jail though.
Well, he was arrested, yeah.
Oh, he
because
was arrested.
They had other stuff on him to bring him into prison or to jail, yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
So what? So he
wait a
went to
minute, hold
jail
on.
for.
Why was your dad buying diapers so far away?
I mean, I don't know why they were just.
Truly. Does he have another family? Have you thought about this?
I would have probably found out by now. I think, honestly.
But
Yeah.
if he went, he actually went to jail for drugs though, right?
For like all that sort of stuff, yeah.
So maybe it was probably.
They might have found like a thing to,
Yeah, if he was up in Watsonville, then maybe it was because of some business.
But he was buying
You know what I mean?
diapers.
Yeah, you stop over and buy diapers for your son while you're conducting business.
We also have
This is what I do on all my hits.
We also have family in Watsonville, so they're probably going to go out there and visit.
There you
Alright,
go.
alright.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Give this guy's dad the benefit of the doubt, Steve.
So your dad's in jail 7 years. He comes back. You guys got to get to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. There's so much of the world he hasn't seen.
Did you visit him during that time? He wasn't unfamiliar to you?
Were
you afraid of him? Because as any good Mexican knows,
Yeah.
we're all terrified of our dads. So were you terrified of him?
No, I felt like I kind of didn't really understand who I was visiting, but like
Yes.
they'd be like, "Oh, that's your dad," you know.
Yeah.
And I like saw pictures, like Polaroids of me going to go see him and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like I can like slowly start to remember, like, oh, like this is me hanging out with him and that sort of stuff.
Disneyland. I'll tell you, one of these such a terrible thing about Disneyland is I remember specifically being poor at Disneyland, and then you can't buy any of the food. This is a thing. I remember walking like out to the front because they won't let you could go back, walk to the car. I remember like sitting, eating a soggy sandwich by like a fountain.
Yeah.
And just feeling like a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
Watching all the whites, with the Mickey Mouse things.
Their
eating
bread
hamburgers
bowls.
and hogs. Yeah, the bread bowls from the Pirates of Caribbean,
Yes.
slopping it down,
Yeah.
jambalaya.
Yeah.
They're laughing at me, the jambalaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me just eating a soggy sandwich.
Yeah. I remember once when we were in line for the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yeah.
We were
What a
in line.
smell.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah,
What a
that
smell.
that fucking
That's the only thing I'll give you about Disneyland. I do love that
that smell?
Pirates of the Caribbean smell.
it's
yeah.
nostalgic.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were in line for hours, and this entire family, in a comical amount, 16 people,
Yeah.
cut in front of the line. Not like directly in front of us, but they were like several people in front of us.
Yeah.
And my dad,
Yeah.
I mean, he has a temper that if you just even question his authority for a sec, if there's any doubt, he'll blow a gasket.
Yeah.
And he went up and had a full-blown fight with these people, and he got them out.
Wow.
So they
Yeah.
cut like illegally. They weren't.
Oh,
like,
no, they
rich or
cut, and
anything.
people were like, hey, what's up? And then they just, like, ignored everyone, and my dad was like, get the fuck out of line. We've been waiting. And he just
Wow.
made a whole fucking scene.
He's a hero, honestly.
He is,
Yeah.
but also, like, everyone after that was like, thank you, but also, like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy's,
My dad has this
this
yell.
guy's crazy.
My dad has this yell. He was a printer, and so it was, his ears are shot because these huge machines all the time.
Yeah.
And so he would yell like I heard him maybe yell 15 years ago like this, and I was like, God damn, I forgot. And so he would yell at my mom and kids like that, but he would use it for good occasionally, just like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. We were at a WWF match, Ravishing Recruit versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Me and Danny and my dad was there. And we were cheering for Ravishing Recruit, who's a bad guy. We were like cheering just to be funny. We must have been 10, 9, something around then. And at some point, there's like two older white guys behind me. I don't know what older is. I'm a kid. They're adults.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said something like, quiet down, Paco, or something like that.
Whoa.
And yeah, my dad turned around to them, and in his voice, he didn't yell, but in a voice where it's like threatening, he said, like, if you ever talk to my kids like that, I will beat the living shit out of you. And then they just like quieted down. They didn't say anything after that.
Absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
remember thinking like, fuck yeah, fuck.
So basically, you've always been unlikable.
But you were never afraid of your dad.
No, I mean, I wasn't really afraid of him. Sometimes, like, he'd say, like, mean stuff to me. Like, he'd call me, like, Four Eyes and stuff like that.
Damn, you're calling your own kid Four Eyes. It was your genes that gave him bad eyes.
But that's kind of fun, though.
Yeah. Four
But,
Eyes is
like,
bad.
for him,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. For me, I'm like, all right, cool. But, like, yeah, he'd kind of, like, make fun of me. But, like, I just think that's the kind of person that he was. Like, because, like, some dudes just like to, like, kind of, like, play around like that,
Yeah.
right? But, yeah, then, like, yeah, I never really, like, felt scared of him. But I just felt like it was hard to talk to him sometimes.
Sure. I mean, what would you talk to him about, I guess?
I mean, I don't really know, honestly. Like, I'm realizing now, like, I don't really know what I would talk to him about. Like, I would just tell him, like, what I like and things like that. Like, I like video games or I like this.
It's just from such different worlds. I
Yeah,
mean, you were brought up and you like comic books and video games. You're a normal kid.
Yeah, I was never hit as a kid either, too.
What?
Yeah, I know. I was never hit because, I listened to my parents.
You just lost that. You just lost a lot of credit. It should have nothing to do with you, the beating.
Yeah.
The beating should have everything to do with your dad.
Yeah, it's just tangential stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm mad at this thing, so I'm going to take it out on this guy. Yeah, no, he never hit me, but it's crazy. They did all this other crazy shit, but they never hit their children. That's
What
pretty
was
nuts.
that? What do you mean? Oh, you mean they're just
Yeah,
chaotic life.
They're chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would always like fight other people. Like, I remember one time this guy like cut off my dad like down the street from us, and my dad like saw him flip him off, so he chased down that car and he pulled up in front of that car, right? Ooh. And he made the guy like stop, turn off his engine, and he punched him in the like mouth so hard that he broke his jaw.
So
Holy
did he get in
shit.
trouble for that?
Nah. Yeah.
Now-
The idea of fighting now as a like citizen, I have things to lose. I don't want to go to jail. I've been to jail for traffic stuff before. Just one time I went to Twin Towers.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn. All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I drove without my I drove without once I got back from I lived in Ecuador for a while when I quit being a pastor, and then I got back and I didn't have insurance registration, and so I got like one ticket from that, like $1,400 ticket right off the bat, right when I got back, and then I got another one like the week later. And
in case you guys didn't catch that, Steve was colonizing natives in Ecuador in the name of Jesus. Go on.
And so I just didn't have. I got like huge tickets, so I had a suspended license for years. And I did have a car, so I would drive to TGI Fridays and back. And to cops' credit, they left me off several times. I'd say, I got to tell you, officer. They pulled me over. I'd say, I've got a suspended license for this, and I'm going to work and coming back. And several times they were like, all right, you're fine. Get out of here.
Right.
But one time I was not fine. And they just threw me. It was so it was in Covina, right by the Del Taco, by the Chatterbox. So they pulled me over then. I was with my ex. It was her car. I was going to pick her up from class. They impounded that car. I got taken to Covina jail first, like at 8:30 p.m. And so I had to like stay in that jail. And then the next day they took me to, I believe they're called Citrus Courts in West Covina. And they bring all the people from Twin Towers to the Citrus Courts to get judged. So it was like I was down there with some real like felons, like some like violent people.
Yeah.
I was fine because I'm a big Mexican guy, but it was funny to watch these people who were just at like these little jails for like whatever, and then like real like gangsters. There was like this little white guy there who was, and this is just in West Covina. I'm talking too much, so I'm not even going to talk about Twin Towers. But right there, you're just waiting all day for the judge to see you. And there was this like white guy, and he just like kept crying and stuff. And you see these guys are like punking him, and I'm like, oh my god, like the guy really took the guy's shoes, like that kind of thing.
And see, that's when you're that white guy, what you do, and I'm telling from experience, you just offer up your hole. You just offer it up. You bend over and you just leave it as an option so they know. It's like how you never want to look a kangaroo in the eye. Yeah. You know, that's basically what it is.
I mean, this is just at Jonathan. That's just like at detention at school. He learned to do that.
Yes,
he offered his hole up very early.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the white guy's like crying in the thing, and then one of the guys was like, "Hey, fool, you fucking gay?" And then the guy's crying, but then he laughs and he goes, "No." And the whole place went crazy. The whole place erupted at that. And then, like, when they lined us up to go to Twin Towers, the guard was like, "Hey, those aren't your shoes. Give him back his shoes." And he's like, "Okay."
That's funny.
But I mean, I went to that for that, but I forgot what I was talking about.
That's so crazy. Wait, have you ever gone to prison or jail or anything?
No,
Not prison.
he's never gone to fucking jail. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a Disney annual pass holder.
We don't know what he gets into in those parks.
Okay, so
and also you didn't know what I was talking about. I was talking about Disney jail. Vince, have you ever been to Disney jail?
I have not. I'm a good.
I have.
Disney citizen.
Oh, you got taken to jail.
I've been to Disney jail.
That is so trashy.
Yeah, in 8th grade, I was going to.
In 8th grade.
We graduated at 8th grade. I don't know where I got the money to even get into the park. It was probably $50 back then. But my friend Chrissy, her sister, and her boyfriend were taking Jenny, and I was in love with Chrissy Gale. Me, Richard Macias, who I still talk to. So we all went like, June 29th, right after school, And I had football going into high school, but I had enough money to get in the park, but not enough money for food. But my older brother had given me $30 to buy. He's like, buy me these for me and my girlfriend, a J with Mickey like leaning against the J, a bronze J, and a bronze A with Mickey leaning. Buy me that. Here's $30. So I go in there and I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll steal the keychains and I'll have $30 to eat with. And so we walk in the park. It's 10 a.m. or whatever. There's the magic shop right there. Walk into the magic shop. And I like see him, and I like fumbly, and I grab them. Jenny and Chrissy had gone off. It's me and Richard Macias. And I go sit down. We go sit out right in the front. It's still Main Street right there. We're just sitting on the bench. And then I was like, man, that was easy. I was like, let's go steal a couple of keychains for Jenny and Chrissy. And so we went, and I'm like fumbling. Who knows when the old lady saw me? But I grab a couple more, and then we just go sit on the bench right when it's 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And so me and Richard are sitting on the bench, and then this old lady walks up to us, and she goes, do we have to do this the hard way or the easy way? And then I was like, oh, fuck. I like figured out. I was like, she's like an undercover cop. And then I was like, don't blame him. I was like, just take me. And so they took me back. There's a whole city behind Disneyland. There's a whole like thing. And they put me in a room with straight up a light hanging down, like a fucking TV show.
Like interrogate you?
Yeah. And 2 cops, I guess, come in, rolled up sleeves. In my head, they look like straight detectives.
Did they have mouse ears on?
And they were like, "Give us your wallet." They're like, $30. You could have bought the keychains with it. I was like, "But I wouldn't have been able to eat." You know?
Give us your wallet, you fucking Mexican punk!
Come on, you fucking brownie.
Go back to Mexico, bitch!
My mom picked me up. I was truly grounded for the summer in a way that I'd never been. I can go to football practice, come back, not leave the room. My dad's like, "I can't believe my son's a thief. I can't even look him in the eye." And so I would just stay in my bedroom. My sister would bring me a plate of food.
Oh my God! Like Chris.
So I've had a kind of rough life too, Vince.
Vince,
We're trauma bonding.
You also, I really want to get into you working for Will Smith.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, oh, I kind of withdrew from you a little bit because I was like, I guess he's like in another world now. He's out in Calabasas or something.
Explain to everyone what the hell Jonathan's talking about.
That was a really weird, I think, time in my life too. Yeah. So in like 2018, for like about 2 years, I worked for the Smith family. So Will, Jada, and all of them.
Yeah.
And I had started off as a writer's assistant for Will Smith's social media. So I would basically, me and like 4 other comedians would work on pitching ideas for his social channels, right? So like, Will, what if you did this or what if you did that? And it had to be like very curated. To meet,
so
like,
how often did you see him a week? Every day?
Almost. Well, at first not that much, but then it ended up being like, I got to see him like almost every day.
Yeah.
Because he'd come into the office, say what's up.
What's he like?
He's honestly such a nice person. Like when I saw that he like slapped Chris Rock, I'm like, all right, he probably deserved it. Yeah.
Whoa! Shots fired, Chris Rock.
I'm gonna be Team Smith like forever. Like, they're so nice to me. Yeah. The family was very nice to me.
So did you get to meet Jada too?
I met one time Jada painted my nails.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Toenails. Oh my god!
My fingernails.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Was she kind of like flirty or no?
If she was, I probably didn't recognize it.
I'm sorry.
What?
Set up this fingernail thing for us.
Yeah. So there was like a day where Jada had to come in to like kind of like sample products, and one of them was like fingernail polish or paint, right?
All right, good.
And so basically, I was at the front desk. After like a while, they ended up moving me to office manager. And I hated that, but I got to see everybody come in. I would always see like the celebrities and folks come in, step into the office.
Yeah.
But one day it was really quiet, and she got all these samples, and so they told me to go into that meeting so that I could like just take notes on what she likes, what she doesn't like. They opened up this bottle of like black nail paint, and she's like, "Can I try this on you?" And so she ended up painting my nails.
So she's holding your hand.
Yeah,
It's a very beautiful woman.
She's holding my
Striking.
holding my nails. And
Little too. She's little. Huh?
Yeah.
And she's not doing anything emasculating to you because it's black nail polish. So there's something very sensual about her being like, yeah, let me just paint your nails and I'm gonna paint it black. Like there's something kind of sexy about it, right?
There was something to it where I'm like, this is crazy. Like just being in like that conference room and her painting my nails was like, this is a crazy day of work.
Now,
were you gonna get into? Did you have a sense that she was open for an entanglement? Did she use any of that wordage at all?
None of that wordage.
Did she say, Vince, do you ever feel entangled? Did she ever ask you that, or?
I feel like I could count on my hands how many times like I heard her speak, and it would just be like hello or like goodbye. Like she wouldn't really say like a lot of things.
Got it.
She was very like almost like stoic a lot of the time that I would see her. She'd just be like down to business most of the time.
Now we have a lot. I remember when this happened because somebody lived with us who moved here for the job.
Oh yeah.
And I remember the room started out. So listen, if you're struggling with your social media, you don't feel bad. These people hired, that initial hiring, there was a real room of people, right?
Yeah, there was a
like
real
10 or 12 people, right?
Yeah.
For their social media. So don't you feel bad about these people? These fucking rich fucks, these Hollywood fucks hire teams of comedians, pay them money to come up with these social. So don't feel bad about that. But then it got cut. I remember it was down to like 4 people, and that's when they bumped you to office manager.
That's when they bumped me to office manager.
But that's still nice. You still got to do that, right?
So this was your first writer's room, technically.
Technically, it was my first writer's room. I had to like make pitch decks. I had to like there was like a moment where like I got to like pitch ideas directly to them. So like I'd have to have 10 ideas a day. I'd basically be like, Hey, Will, what if you did this or what if you did that?
Vince is holding up his phone.
Yeah.
It's like he's talking into his phone to Will Smith. If you watch us on YouTube to really get this shit, because Vince was holding up his hand, and I didn't even have to explain it if you were watching.
Thank you for catching. Sorry, I'll be better about elaborating. But yeah, I would basically pull out my phone and I'd look into it and I'd be like, hey, Will, wouldn't it be cool if you did this or did that? Do like 10 of those a day. Then they'd figure out which ones they like the most. Most of the time, they wouldn't go with any ideas. And they just do something completely different.
Well, that's like every writer's room.
Yeah, but I think because I had never been in one, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this could be like on the internet or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But it was just an interesting world because like he's such like a big celebrity that
You didn't pick up any weird sex thing going on with them?
No, I was able to like to go to their house and stuff like that too. They have,
You
like,
didn't see anything weird going on, huh?
No.
Now we know, of course, they're separated. Fucking weirdos. Listen, that's okay to be separated, and hide it for 7 years, but don't have a red table talk about how you have this great open marriage. That's weird. And Jada, will always hold that against you for that.
Listen,
if you're listening, Jada.
Listen, guys, no one knows why Steve is so emotionally invested in him.
Well, because I'm polyamorous, so I looked to them. I was like, oh, finally, they're coming out of the closet with polyamory. They're encouraging each other. This is a good representation. I mean, the slap, of course, took that all down, but I do think it's straight up sociopathic that they did the red table talks about their open marriage when they were in fact separated.
I don't know if it's sociopathic.
What else would you call it?
Narcissistic. Sociopathic is like they're hurting people. They're just kind of like fucking.
They hurt me, John. Are you not listening? Why do you think I'm so impassioned about this?
Honestly, no one knows. No one knows why.
I sat and watched those red table talks with a fellow polyamorous person that I was dating at the time. And we took it in and we were like, oh, finally.
Listen, poly people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
No, you guys are crazy.
We're not crazy. We're not as crazy as lying about this shit.
No, but the fact that you're so invested in this is crazy. Like poly people, you guys there's something off about you all.
Oh, monogamy is what is the crazy part. Do not get me started on this, John. I swear to God.
Okay, well.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Was your girlfriend a Disney head first, or did you convert her?
She brought me to Disneyland. After that trip, I ended up liking Disney.
Okay. It was for a woman.
It was for a woman.
Yeah, let's be. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see through. Now I see through some of it. Happy. We get into the truth a bit.
I feel like I just told the story.
Should I have just said that earlier?
No.
That's why I like that. Instead of looking like a weirdo?
I hadn't thought to ask it, so that's my fault.
But this is why you're a good guy, because you weren't going to throw her under the bus like that at first. We had to sniff that out.
Yeah.
Did I talk to you? Was it on this podcast or not? Where I talked to you when I dated a woman?
Yeah.
Very after I got a divorce, something very tender, and I really liked the way this girl looked. She was like a Jewish woman. She looked like who's the Bill Clinton one?
Monica Lewinsky.
She looked kind of like Monica Lewinsky.
Okay.
Jewish. I was really into it. But
Julia said beanie.
Personality. Yeah, I mean she was right, but personality wise, she was just kind of quiet. But the first date, she goes, she's a Disney person, and even we met on I don't know Tinder, something like that.
Yeah,
and. You could tell she was a Disney girl then, and it wasn't as looked down upon. Now it's like
back then.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah,
and so she was like, "It's actually a pretty good deal." When you talk to the Disney adults like this, they'll be this. They're like, "And actually, if you go like a couple times a month, it pays for itself like so quick." They'll say like, yeah. And she's like, "It's actually," and then I was like really in such a hurting place that I was like. I told her, I was like, maybe I'll get one.
I'm much more of a Knott's Berry Farm dude.
Of course.
I love Knott's Berry Farm. I love feeling like, I'm in the frontier and, like that whole thing. I feel like when I'm at Knott's Berry Farm, I feel like I could get shot. And I like that type of danger. Yeah.
I like the idea of getting shot at Knott's Berry Farm.
Incredible. Imagine that.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
You're smelling the boysenberry jam.
Yeah. But there's wood everywhere. And then there's like fake like white pioneer men. And you're like, oh, we could all. And there's a lot of Mexicans. And like, we could all just get shot. You know what I mean? So,
and then, of course, Dinosaur the Ride, which doesn't exist anymore. It actually is before your time. Knott's Berry Farm had this thing. It was next to Bigfoot Rapids called Dinosaur the Ride. Very slow ride. You're just going very slowly through these animatronic dinosaurs. This is pre-Jurassic Park. 8th grade trip. You're always going to Knott's Berry Farm. That's what everyone knows. 8th grade trip. And this is the place where you finger your first girl. This is the place everyone knows. Dinosaur the ride. You're gonna get wet.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, yeah. You will get wet. You may get soaked. That's actually Bigfoot Rapids. But
That's very funny.
Where did you finger your first girl, Vince?
You have what? 2 sexual partners? There's no way you have more than 3.
But you know they
I've
probably
still done
fucked a
that,
lot.
though. Yeah.
Okay, so you did. There's some that's
I've
not
gone
your
out
girlfriend.
on multiple
Multiple?
like,
5.
Hold on. Let me answer this question.
Yes.
The first time I fingered someone was, I think, Avengers premiere movie theater.
Oh.
Yeah, like all the way in the back.
And were you just going crazy?
Yeah, I was like, this is nuts. Yeah.
I do feel bad, Jonathan. Although you have been fucked by you have felt a pussy. You've had sex with a woman.
She bullied me. Yes.
Assault.
Sure, but I took one for the team because we deserve it.
Tell the story, please, and then we got to go to a break.
She had just been trying to have sex with me for a very long time.
How old are you? 16?
17.
Okay.
And
Jonathan,
I had already had sex with a man.
He's got this Pacino thing going on, young Al Pacino. He's got a look,
And I was in basketball shorts going commando, and we were like smoking weed on top of a building in Echo Park because her parents lived in the building.
Yeah.
And I was just like randomly hard, and she could see that through the basketball shorts, and she thought it was for her, and it was just because I was like 17, and I
walking around hard.
Oh, yeah,
17.
you just get hard, And
I used to walk around the neighborhood in 8th grade, and just pray a woman would see me and be like, "Let's have sex." I used to walk around the neighborhood, just praying.
So
someone go on.
And she pulled it out of the side of my basketball shorts, and I guess at that moment I could have slapped it away, but I just kind of let it happen because I finally felt run down and caught. Like I was like, I can't run anymore.
Women feel like this. I
can't do it. I can't do this.
Saying no.
Yeah, I was like,
I
guess I'll just
take it.
And then she sat on my cock, and it was very slick and smooth and wet, and it felt like a glove, like sucking my dick in.
Yeah.
And then I came immediately, and she laughed.
You came inside her.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she was on birth control.
Yeah.
And I think I think I don't have a son, so I don't know. But I haven't heard. But but
I have heard. Come in, little Ronnie. Come in.
My dad's a fag.
It felt incredible, right?
Yeah, but it was like I didn't. The thing
felt
is,
natural.
No, it didn't.
From God.
No, I didn't like what I was looking at.
Yeah.
It wasn't turning on. It was just kind of like, what's the word? Is perfunctory the word where it's just like a mechanical like.
Yeah.
Like it could have been a dude's mouth. You know what I mean?
We have to go to break.
So
all right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Horn Dogs podcast. That we were half-assing it then. I'm Jonathan Cerda or whatever, and
Steve Big Dog Hearn Fob.
Yeah, and we are here with Vince Caldera, who has opened for a lot of comedians. You've opened for the great Maria Bamford, who I love so much. I don't know her, but I love her comedy.
In fact, these guys used to, Vince and Luis and Daniel used to run an incredible mic called the, what was it called?
It was the pipe mic.
The pipe mic.
It was a good mic.
Yeah, it was a great mic. They've been running good mics for a long time. But Maria Bamford lives in the area. That's how they met. And so she would just come to this open mic. She would bring her husband sometimes. So the plot line to her Netflix show, what's it called?
Lady Dynamite.
Lady Dynamite, in the second season, is actually happened. And it did. The boys fell in love with Maria Bamford's husband. And Maria Bamford felt isolated from stand-up comedy.
Wait, did this actually happen?
So that, I don't know if that, but like Maria liked her mic so much that she had it in the show. There was a point where Luis, I think Daniel and myself were supposed to be in Lady Dynamite. She wanted to cast us in that show.
Yeah.
But they casted these other guys instead, and then it was too late to make the change from them to us.
Yeah.
And so the pipe mic in a way exists in the Lady Dynamite show.
But the plot line in the show is that these guys who run the open mic were in love with Maria's husband, instead of Maria, which of course everyone loved Maria, but her husband, I remember going to that mic, was very funny at that open mic.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't remember seeing him?
I don't remember seeing him, but I wasn't.
What's his name? Forgive me.
Scott Cassidy.
Yeah. Scott would come and he would just perform at this mic, and he would like write a bit every week for this mic. And one time I remember he just read a basketball like story, like Indiana Pacers versus the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And he he just memorized it, right?
Yeah. He memorized the whole article and he did like the bit on it. Yeah.
So he didn't say anything. He just memorized this article that summarized the game, and he just recited it.
Yeah.
And it was really funny.
Yeah.
He's like a very funny guy.
Okay,
For
cool.
someone who's not trying to do stand-up.
But that's good that she's with a funny dude.
Yes.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's also a professional artist. Like he has like gallery shows and stuff like that.
So you guys actually, this is true. You fell in love with him.
Yeah. I love him so much. He's so great. Both of them are so great. Like
and Maria felt threatened.
That's with the second season.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever feel like a Make-A-Wish kid? Because I see they take you guys to Dodger games and stuff sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It feels like that because like she's the kindest person like I've ever met, and like it's like a kindness that I can never repay. But like she'll like be like, do you want to come to this or do you want to do that? And I'm like,
She knows you
I would
don't
love
have
that.
cancer, right?
Yeah. But yeah, she's always doing like fun stuff, and she's like, come through, come do this. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, you guys are very, when I say you guys, I talk about you, Luis, and Daniel. You're very you're very asexual presenting.
What?
Yeah. You think
Daniel's
so?
sexy, don't get me wrong.
Oh, Daniel.
But they
Daniel's
still,
sexy.
the vibe they're throwing off is very neutered. It's as if they don't care about sex or like sex. That's the vibe I've always picked up from them. They're very good boys, I guess, in that way, but I'm never getting let's go coos hunting or anything.
I've never gotten a neutered vibe. That's crazy. Like neutered.
Non-sexual.
I get sexual vibes from all of them, not towards me, but I can feel it pulsating towards women, but I know that they're doing it, they're being respectful. You know what I mean? I get respectful boy. I don't get neutered. You know what I mean?
None of the stuff you said is true.
Absolutely,
no,
it's true.
This is really interesting to hear.
First of all, I am their generation, and we're
You're
from
gay. You don't know shit about this stuff.
And
I'm talking
you're
about
bi, and you don't know shit about
pure
nothing.
Primal women
You're
hunger.
poly.
Pure primal women
You
hunger.
can't trust a poly, guys. A dirty Paul.
Here's another interesting thing. I said it earlier, but I am the same age or a little older than Vince's dad. So in another lifetime, if I were to come into a woman, I could be staring at my son.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
They literally call you. Your contact name is now Dad.
I would be so proud of you, Vince,
Oh,
for everything
so
you've
sweet.
accomplished. And your dad is proud of you too, right?
Yeah, he's proud. Like my parents have really come along when it comes to stand up. Like my mom once, when I told her I wanted to do stand up, she's like, "You're not funny." But I feel like she'd only see me like in a guarded kind of way.
That's so fucking
For your
Mexican.
mom to say it,
Yeah.
you're
It's
not
so
funny.
Mexican to be like, just tell you straight up something so hurtful, like you're fat, or you're not funny, or you're ugly. You know what I mean? Those are the things that they love to do.
Yeah, sometimes it's all three of those things. Yeah. But it's just crazy because like they have come such a long way. Like my mom has seen a show, my dad has seen a show, and like they're not really people that I see laugh at stuff. Like if I pitch them a joke, they'll like be stone faced. They'll be like, "Where's the joke to that?"
Yeah, my dad, I think maybe very early on he saw a little bit of a show when I was really bad at the Chatterbox. But my dad says he does not like to be in a room where there's a lot of laughter. So he will not see me do stand-up.
Whoa. Now, your dad at your wedding?
Yeah.
So Steve's dad at Steve and Julia's wedding went up and had a fantastic set. And he was one of the
It was a speech. It wasn't set.
It was a set. It was a set. He went in with he started with fat jokes.
Yeah.
Which I know bothered you
He
a
said
bit.
when Steve was little, I know it's hard to believe, but my dad wasn't even laughing too. He's like, when Steve was little, he used to, I know it's hard to think of Steve being little, straight face, then goes on with his thing.
And literally,
he calls
said
me fat at my own fucking wedding.
Like
Yeah.
roasting you.
Yeah.
And everyone, both family and comics, were like, yeah, Steve's fat. Like, they were all like, oh my God, we loved it. But it was more that we loved that your dad was cracking jokes.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
You taped a special at the Bob, what is it?
The Bob Baker Marionette Theater.
Yeah, you taped your special there,
Yeah.
and your folks went and saw it, right?
Yeah.
And what'd they think? Because I know you talk about their past and everything. Were they okay with it?
They were okay with it. I feel like my parents would be like honest enough to be like, "Hey, don't talk about this or don't talk about that."
Yeah.
And And if they did have something that they didn't want me to talk about, I'd respect that.
Yeah.
But I think them being there, they're like, oh, that's cool, because I feel like so much of like them and their past has like a negative connotation to it. So I feel like in a sense, I try to look at it through a non-judgmental lens.
Yes.
And through that frame, I think they feel good, because it's like, oh, I'm not a fuck up or whatever other people might have thought about them.
Well, you did have that funny little addendum at the end of your set. Said, I know my parents have done it, but they're actually very hardworking, good people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, that's a weird way to end a comedy special. But I guess if your folks are there.
It was that, and I feel like stylistically I didn't want to end on a joke, because I feel like it puts too much pressure on like punctuating it on something really funny. So I want to have something sincere.
So, and a sincere, sweet speech. Well, it worked for
But
you.
see, this is why I think he was perfect for the This Fool's writer's room, because you're funny, but you also are not someone who are going to treat those types of people, which a lot of the characters in the show are like your parents, right? And and I know that Chris was very adamant on never treating those people like buffoons and never trying to like treat them in a judgmental way. And like, that's why you were really great in the room too. You know,
those people, like, I love those people so much. Like, it reminds me of like folks that my parents would bring home, you know? Yeah. And I like, they're always the funniest, most hardworking, intelligent people ever. I just feel like people kind of look at them through a certain lens, you know?
Yeah. Now you joke about your. Do you really think your parents are swingers?
Dude, I do think. All right, so like a while ago, I talked about how like my dad had like a young girl that he was seeing, and when I say like young girl, like my age, my dad's like in his like 50s. Yeah, like he's getting there.
So you could have gone to high school with this girl.
Okay, I'm younger than his dad. I'm not 50. All right, so don't think I'm 50. Okay.
But he was seeing this girl, and then my mom was seeing a guy. But like my parents will be like, no, I still love your dad. I still love your mom, and like they'll like still.
So they're polyamorous.
I think so. I think
they maybe just don't know to say that, or don't care to say that.
They don't know the word, and they're not politically correct or anything like that. So they are just seeing.
How did you know that they both had these other people?
Because they would come to the house and those people would be there.
And this is pretty recent, like in the past 5 years.
Yeah, probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And so the people would be there, and your mom had a young lover.
About her age, yeah.
Okay.
My dad was out there just trying to.
Okay, so this guy's over with your mom. They're watching TV.
Yeah, they're like watching TV. Or
were they being affectionate at all?
I feel like I don't really see my parents be affectionate to anyone else other than each other.
And you know what they're not doing, Steve? Having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that I know yet.
They want to, not yet.
Oh,
yeah. These young ones, the young one, Vince's age.
You could have some 20-year younger half sibling.
Yeah, that's crazy.
30. Wait, because you're approaching 30 soon.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Damn, you're no longer going to be the young gun.
No, it's gonna be whoever is doing a crowd work bit or whatever.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. That's
now
crazy.
Vince is also a big clothes horse. So at some point you were a fucking nerd. Yeah. You didn't have any money. You felt like a loser all the time. Then you started to get a little dough.
Yeah.
Started to collect some Will Smith money. Some, Murray Bamford's giving you $500. It's the most money you've ever had in your fucking life. Yeah.
Steve, you should have seen him in the writer's room every day.
Yeah.
A brand new, put together, immaculate outfit. It was like the dude version of Clueless, where like every scene she's in a new, amazing outfit. This was him.
I know. It's sad to me because I know he was just a nerd, poor nerd. And then he got the money. And then he's like, it's time. It's time to transform myself into like, I'm still a nerd, of course, but I want to be a fashionista.
Yeah, that style icon will always be with me.
Yeah, so you're on the net, you're like cruising, you're checking out these things, new shirts.
Well, like a lot of that stuff.
What's the most expensive piece you've ever bought?
That I've ever bought? Yeah. Probably like $700, $800. Yeah.
Whoa! What was it?
For a jacket. I bought it recently. It's a Supreme undercover jacket. So the Japanese brand Undercover, there's like this leather and like puffer kind of jacket, but it has like studs on it and stuff. I haven't worn it yet, but I'm waiting for like.
So you knew this thing was coming out?
Yeah.
Oh, is it new?
It came out like last year, and it's the one that I wanted for a while, and I'm like, I need that. Like you see it, and you're like, I just.
But you tried to talk yourself down. $700 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But it just kept creeping up. Yeah. You're like tossing and turning.
No lie. It was in my cart. I kept getting those fucking targeted ads that are like, you need this. But I sold one piece to get this one. So
What piece did you sell?
I sold a Supreme Skull Pile jacket.
And how much did you get for that?
I sold it for $500.
Okay.
Yeah, to Luis.
Okay. Oh, well, that's sad.
He's like, I need that jacket. I'm like, all right, bet. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I just love you thinking about this jacket. You're at Disneyland, you know. You're doing the small world thing, but your girlfriend's like, where are you right now? And you're just thinking about that Supreme
I'm
jacket.
spinning it so fast, coming out of the teacup. Yeah.
You guys you have no intention. These are young men here. You have no intention of moving out of your place at all, ever, right?
Wait a minute.
No.
Do you still live with your folks?
Yeah, well,
They all live with their folks.
Yeah.
They all live with their folks still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I live with my grandparents, and so I'm in the ADU portion of the house,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
it's like a separate space.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're a back house, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you don't need
it's
to
like I
move
moved
anywhere.
out.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, everything else seems like.
But this is very Mexican, and
Yes.
also a lot of the world is like this. Like
Yes.
you just stay with your family because everyone lives in a city where it's hard to fucking
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
your own place.
I'm the
you know?
fucking loser. When I'm 19, when I was 19, I moved out, and I've been moved out since. If I had a parent where I could live with them, I would live with them. I'm an idiot. But when I was growing up at that point, it was like a manly thing. I felt like to be moved out.
It's like an independence thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, when you're a homosexual, though, you really got to move out.
You had to move out.
You got to move out because no one likes your lifestyle,
Yeah.
even if they don't. It's
Even if
gross.
they accept it, it's gross.
They don't like it,
Yeah.
and you also have to be cleaning shit out of your butt all the time,
Yeah.
or your lovers have to be cleaning shit out
Yeah.
of their butt. So you really can't be like living with your folks.
And
doing
I
that.
know you like to moan loud, and your mom can't be hearing you.
If the guy brings the heat,
Yeah.
I'm not moaning. I'm not giving you any sympathy moans.
All right, we're wrapping
Steve.
up right now, but I want you, Jonathan, to honestly answer. How deep do you think Vince's butthole is? Just look at him,
Yeah. Just
size him up.
You know,
What do you think?
I really think that he could take some pretty big dick.
You think that? Because I was thinking the
Yes.
opposite.
No,
I was
you
thinking
got
like
Shallow Hole.
Yeah, I was thinking like
Shallow Hole, the sequel to Shallow Hole.
like 3 or 4. I was thinking 3 or 4 inches.
Oh
is like
no!
filling
I'm
Vince
thinking
up.
he could take an 8.5 incher.
No, wow.
I think that's his max.
Here's
but
my thing though. As he's taking it, does he take his glasses off or keep them on?
How good's your eyesight, Vince?
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Then he's gonna keep them on, just like me. 'Cause we need to. Do you need your contacts or glasses when you're having sex to see?
I like being able to see.
Same.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
bad. We have. Can I see your glasses real quick? Because I have fucked up eyesight too. Yeah, we have comparable eyesight.
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
comparable eyesight. Yeah, we need to see because otherwise, I don't want to see.
Jonathan's acting out with fucking a guy right
I
now.
don't want to see.
He's got the guy's hands by his waist.
If I didn't have my contacts on, it would just be a blurry mass.
But isn't it about feeling though too?
no,
You know?
I want to see. I want to see the jiggle and the wiggle.
I think that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Too, is like it's just the sensory.
He
I
wants-
let my mouth.
he wants
I let my
tits
mouth do
in
the
his
touching.
face.
Yeah, touching.
That's what he wants,
Yeah.
and
Touching.
he wants to see every detail of the tittage.
Yeah, touching.
Yes.
Thank you, Vince,
Thank
so
you,
much for
guys.
coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
Where can we
Yes.
find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Vince Caldera.
Fantastic. Make sure you check out Vince and everything he does. Jonathan, where can we find you?
Instagram, Jonathan Cerda Rowell.
You can find me at Big Hearn on Twitter, Herney on Instagram. Follow Horn Dogs on everything, on Instagram, on YouTube. We need to get these subscribers up so we start monetizing so I could buy the jacket off of Luis for $300. Hey, it's going to be a tight squeeze, but whatevs, right? Am I right? Hey, thank you guys. We'll see you next week. We love you.
Bye.